A 36-year-old woman, petite at 5 feet, sought thrill outside her marriage by secretly inviting a well-built, 2-meter-tall man into her life. Tragically, a single mishap during their encounter led to her untimely death. What drove her to take such a risk? Could there be some hidden motivations? In 2017, in Huludao, Liaoning, early one morning, an elderly man, Mr. Wang, was out for his usual exercise when he was struck by a terrible stench. Turning to investigate, he discovered a severely decomposed female body with maggots writhing over her. Shocked, Mr. Wang immediately called the police. Law enforcement soon arrived, securing the scene for forensic examination. The initial findings revealed that the victim was about 30 years old and 5 feet tall. She had sustained severe neck injuries, consistent with strangulation, and her genital area was so decomposed that DNA analysis was impossible, leading to the conclusion that she had likely been raped before her death. While detectives were initially inclined to label the scene as a rape murder, certain inconsistencies raised doubts. Given the body's location in an open, visible area, it seemed unlikely that a perpetrator would choose such a risky spot. Upon closer inspection, officers noticed sand in the victim's clothing and fresh scrapes on her shoes, suggesting that her body had likely been dragged to the current location. These details led the police to suspect either a crime of passion or vengeance. Yet, without an ID, determining her identity proved challenging, and they ultimately had to release a public appeal for assistance. Within 3 days, a man named Mr. Li came forward, reporting his sister, Li, missing since the evening of September 14th. After verifying with family, the police confirmed that the body was indeed Li. According to Li's husband, Mr. Wang, the two had been married for a decade and worked together in a family-owned bathhouse. The couple had recently argued, and on the night of September 14th, Wang was helping their child with homework while Li left with her phone and was seen on CCTV exiting the bathhouse. Believing she might have left him for another man, Wang confessed his suspicions to the police, as Li had previously mentioned her desire for a divorce. Police began to consider Wang as a suspect, especially as the staging of the scene suggested it was carefully arranged. Surveillance footage showed Wang leaving shortly after Li, though he claimed he was simply looking for her. Li's sudden departure seemed to coincide with a message she received on her phone, and given her lack of belongings, it was likely someone she trusted had summoned her. Yet, Wang did not have relatives in the area where Li had been heading, further raising police suspicions. Upon reviewing the footage further, police identified a bulky man driving away from the vicinity 20 minutes after Li entered. They found that the vehicle belonged to a woman named Zhang, whose son, Chen, was an imposing figure at 1.98 meters tall. This connection warranted a visit to Chen's home, where he was promptly detained for questioning. In a tense but cooperative discussion, Chen confessed to the crime. He explained that he and Li had met online and that their striking height difference had fueled her excitement. Over time, their relationship had evolved into clandestine rendezvous. However, a financial dispute arose after Li borrowed 2,700 yuan from Chen de Decdas. On September 14th, she agreed to meet him to repay the debt. Upon meeting, Chen requested the money, but Li provocatively suggested paying him with her favors instead. This enraged Chen, who rejected her proposition outright, and an argument broke out. In his anger, Chen grabbed her neck and, unable to control his strength, accidentally strangled her. Panicking, he transported her body to a secluded location and, in a failed attempt to mislead investigators, staged a scene to suggest sexual assault. In the end, Chen's careful, yet tragic attempts to cover his tracks fell short, and he ultimately faced justice for the heinous crime.